Hello everyone, welcome to the Queensland Thoroughbred Owners Association update for February. For some of you, maybe the first time you're seeing the men next to me who are heavily involved in the Queensland Thoroughbred Owners Association. Welcome CEO Ben Mannion and also Chairperson, should we say, Peter Tighe of Winx fame, and obviously been involved in racing for many years. And welcome guys, and I guess the whole point of this is to tell owners more about the work that you've been doing on the ground for owners. So take it away. How's it all going?
Yeah, really well. Thanks, Adam. Queensland Thoroughbred Owners Association, or QTOA, was established back in August last year by a number of really prominent owners, Peter being one of those, Linda Huddy, Chris Wessel from Archer Park, Gary Cunningham from Ridgemont and also Cunningham Thoroughbreds, Drew Schofield and Alex Penklis. So that was the board that set up QTOA. With a whole heap of objectives around enhancing and protecting the rights of owners across the state, and we really wanted to make it about Queensland owners. So every owner in Queensland is really important, not just the southeast corner, which is why we got out to regional Queensland recently, and we'll talk about that as we go through. But so far so good. 6 months in, everything's going well.
Very good. Well, there's lots been happening, and Peter, you've been heavily involved. Some people know you only from the Winx fame, but I guess let's wind back to your involvement in racing and how you got involved in advocating for the owners.
Well, I've been involved, obviously, as an owner for over 20 years. The Owners Association became a little bit stale, to say, over the last few years, and we've been able to reinvigorate it and hopefully kick it off in a bigger and better way, so that there's a true representation of the 20,000 or so owners in Queensland. And we see it as an objective to get as many owners to join and be financial voting members as we can, and then give ourselves the best way forward to represent everybody at all discussions, anything to do with racing that we are going to be involved in.
Okay, and I guess important to point out as well, you're not just involved on this level, you've been out on the ground with Ben, you've been talking to owners, and that's obviously something that you're wanting to do with your involvement in the role?
Yeah, it is. We've had last couple of weekends, we've been away to Townsville first weekend. We went to a race meeting on the Saturday up there, and then the following weekend we went to Rockhampton and did exactly the same thing. We've got up there, we spent a couple of days with the locals. We've engaged with all participants, but particularly owners, and just trying to spread the word of what we're trying to achieve and to garnish support for the organisation, because it's the more owners that we can get on board, the stronger the association is going to be, and I think people are going to pay a lot more attention going forward with a strong book of members.
Sure, well that's a good segue into Benny. I guess for those that aren't aware of the association and what you guys are trying to do, can you give everyone a bit of a snapshot of what the charter is and where you're headed? Yeah,
sure. So, there's 20,000 owners in Queensland. Of those, 70% live in regional Queensland, which is a huge number, around 14,000. We want to make sure we can educate, train, engage with those owners on things that are maybe local content, but also things that may be things that we can take up the line to the likes of Racing Queensland and also to the Queensland government. So, over the last couple of weeks, as Peter said, being up in Townsville and central Queensland, we've been out actively looking for members, but we've also been looking for nominees for directorships or people that can actually take the lead in those areas. So we'll be appointing a North Queensland director and a Central Queensland director going into March after we get some nominations through. And it'd be their role as well as the role of the board and the management to essentially drive membership. And then, as you said at the start, many people wouldn't have seen this newsletter before and also this video. We've been able to secure this monthly. Every month we'll be going out to owners across the state thanks to Racing Queensland. And we want to be able to talk to people that may want to talk to 20,000 owners in Queensland as well. So we are able to bring on some sponsors that can help sponsor that newsletter. But for us, the main thing over the next couple of months will be to sort of build that base of membership, and then we can start to engage owners on things like animal welfare, the rehoming process. So 1% of prize money, owners' prize money, goes to equine welfare. What does that mean? Where does that money go? And if there are people out there that want to rehome their horses after racing, then what is that process? So that's one of the big things, as well as the typical things like prize money and race schedules and things, and race day experiences. So they're some of the things that we'll be focusing on over the next couple of months as well.
Okay, very good. Well, I guess let's talk about what's been happening. It's been a busy start to the year. Of course, there was the Magic Millions sale and race day, and the conclusion of the summer carnival. That was all a success. And you guys, as you mentioned, Pete, have been up to North Queensland, and
Yep.
You guys found that a beneficial trip for doing what you're trying to get the word out.
Exactly. It was. We were very well received, by both clubs, both chairmen, and all the participants that turned up. And in the areas we discussed lots of points with participants, with the owners, and it was well worthwhile going away. We thought it was about time that we started to spread our wings. The association needs to be statewide to encompass every racing jurisdiction and all members, whether you're a 1% owner or you've got 100 horses. It doesn't matter to us. We like to represent everybody, and we want to make sure that everybody gets a say in the running of racing in Queensland through the Ownership Association. Can I just say that on our recent trip to Townsville, I'd very much like to thank the chairman, Malcolm Petrovsky, and his committee. They've had a full revamp of the Townsville track and facilities, and the facilities for owners are second to none. They've done an outstanding job, and they're to be commended for what they've done. On our trip to Rockhampton, we were very well welcomed by Rob Carr and his committee, and they've got some fantastic plans on the table, and they're going to do a lot the same as what's been happening in Townsville. They've got a lot of improvements there for track, for amenities and facilities, and I can only say that what they've got in place and is going to be in place for owners in the future is certainly going to make it very attractive to go to those tracks, as a lot of the others are. And over the next year or so, we intend to get around and see a lot more of the country tracks and take a good look at what they've got planned for their owners and for the participants of racing.
Very good. And you mentioned, Ben, about needing help with regional directors to help communicate with owners in those areas.
Yeah, so if there's people out there that think they can help, particularly in the north, central and western part of Queensland, then by all means reach out to me, CEO at QTOA.com.au. And we'd love to have a chat. Now there's a lot of people out there that we're looking for more ambassadors as well that can help us, spread the word and also sign people up. So, there's a lot of people that have, 10, 20 people in horses these days. So, if they can bring those owners on that they're involved in as well, then it's only going to be more beneficial. And as we move forward, if we're able to get, into the thousands, then we can actually start to invest in some really key areas and some engagement platforms to be able to help owners, and also bring new owners into the racing as well. So, really important that we can try and cover the state and also work on things that, sit not just in South East Queensland, but also in regional Queensland as well. And just touching on Rockhampton as well, they've got a wonderful event coming up, which is the Archer, which is a smaller version, I guess, at the moment of the Everest. And so there's 10 or 12 slot holders up there, and there's a lot of moving and shaking at the moment in relation to trying to find the best horse that can actually win that race. I think it's about $270,000 first prize. So we may see some really good horses head up there just before the within the Winter Carnival. So they've pulled that together, the Rocky Amateurs up there, and they should be commended as well for the work that they've done. From a membership perspective, again, we've had the Townsville Turf Club, the Rockhampton Jockey Club, both sign up as foundation members. Malcolm and Michelle Petrosky, thank you guys for your contribution to foundation members. If you'd love to be involved, we'd love to have you on as a member. You can have a look at the newsletter. There's links on there for a regional membership, which is a 2-for-1 membership, as well as a full member, which is only $99 for the year. We'd love to have you on board. And again, if you need to get in contact with us, please contact me, CEO at QTOA.com.au, or mobile phone on the website.
Yeah, well, great to see that clubs can also get involved. It's not just an individual owner's sort of membership, I guess. So if clubs do want more information on how they get involved and how they can work in with the association, just contact you, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to speak to as many clubs as we can across there, because with clubs comes members, obviously, and racehorse owners. So really important that we speak to those guys, or as many as we can. And similarly, that's what happened with Rockhampton and Townsville. They reached out to us, and we were able to come and visit and speak to them. Again, if they'd like to get in contact with us, ceo@qtoa.com.au, we can have a chat and see how they can help.
Yeah, very good. Well, as we mentioned, it's been a busy month for you both on the ground there. Also, let's touch on the start to the year for those that haven't received any of the updates prior to this month. But obviously we had Magic Million Sale and the conclusion of the Summer Carnival. That was obviously a huge success, and racehorse ownership, whether it's through the sale or the race day and the Summer Carnival, it's very healthy.
Oh, it is. I mean, sales are setting new records. It started the year well at Magic Millions. There's been records broken from start to finish. It's a healthy sale. Yeah. There are more and more people looking to get into ownership, whether it be through syndicates or pure ownership of owning a horse. But one thing remains the same is the education of making sure that owners understand what's required of them. It's not onerous, but it's with the association that we can help, and we can explain to people what's expected of them when they buy a horse, have a horse during its racing life, and after it's retired. And I think that's very, very important that people know what they're getting into when they buy a racehorse.
Yeah, that education piece is very important, isn't it? And animal welfare is an area of focus for the QTOA.
Yeah, I think if you look at a horse's whole of life, we're only talking about 3 or 4 really great years of racing, and if a horse lives all the way up to 20, 25 years of age, it's important that we take some responsibility in its whole of life. So there's certain things that we can do working with Racing Queensland and the Queensland government in being able to educate people along the way of what that looks like, and also not just leaving it with the trainer after it's finished racing as well. So I know there's a lot of trainers out there that are starting to take the initiative in that space as well. So, we want to be part of the solution. We're not running away from that. And I think, it's really important, as we sort of get across the state, that we can help with that message as well. So, the important thing, and we would have seen the announcement recently in New South Wales with the prize money going. Obviously, if there's prize money increases, then there's more money going into equine welfare as well. So we're really keen to press on that as well.
Yeah, sure. And speaking of prize money, obviously we can probably touch on that more in depth in future episodes. But I guess that will be an area of focus for the association.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's at the forefront of racing. I mean, we don't want to be adversarial towards Racing Queensland, but we'd like to sit down at the table and discuss, what the future looks like for owners in Queensland. And, New South Wales and Victoria are setting the standard, and it certainly keeps the pressure on Queensland. But it's one of many things that the association can look at and be part of, and be in meaningful discussions with Racing Queensland, the government, and all other participants. They're not the only ones. The trainers, the jockeys, everybody to do with racing. We want to make sure that we can liaise with them, we can sit down and have a good, meaningful talk, and get some really good outcomes for owners. And not only that, but for all of racing.
For the industry, yeah, for sure. No, well, that all sounds great stuff, and I guess that brings us to what's ahead. Talk us through the month ahead. Obviously, there's the Queensland Dual Race Day, Saturday,
Gold
March
Coast,
19 at the Gold Coast Turf Club.
Always a great day. They do a great job up at the Gold Coast Turf Club, so really we're looking forward, and a lot of horses are prepared for that particular race day as their grand final. So again, really looking forward to seeing who comes through as the 2-year-old and 3-year-old dual champion this year.
Yeah, it's been a meeting that's really grown in recent years, hasn't it? Sort of obviously headlined by the duel, but also some of the programming in and around it.
Oh, it does. It's complements the summer of racing. Like Ben said, the Gold Coast do a good job. They put on a great show. They're encouraging more and more people to go racing, and that's what it's all about for us. It's people like to dip their toe in the water, so to speak, and just going to the races. And the next step is buying a share and becoming more and more involved. And that's the reason that we need a strong association, that we can assist, guide and educate people from the initial process right through to when horses are finished and what happens to them. So it's a great time of the year, and looking forward to that race day.
Yeah, sure. And then off the back of the race day, of course, there's the sale, the March Magic Millions QTOA sale.
Yep. there'd be plenty of people looking for a bargain at that one after maybe missing out in January. No doubt there'll be plenty of people lining up, and I know there's quite a few of those stud farms out there looking at putting forward really good drafts this year. So looking forward to seeing what happens with that particular sale. And there's obviously a number of sales across the country at the moment, but that one and also the Capricornia sale coming up in April in Rockhampton as well is one that I know that the regional trainers and owners are looking at really strongly as well.
Yeah, very good. Well, it's a sale for everyone over the next couple of months there. And also touching on the Gold Coast again, the Men Matter race day in April, on April 9.
Yeah, Brett Cook from the club has done a wonderful job in pushing this. I know they've already sold out the event centre. They're now looking at selling out a couple of other hospitality areas in relation to that, but there's going to be up to 1,000 people on that race day for the Men's Matter race day. So we always potentially always go to that particular event, and they give away some great prizes and raise a lot of great money for a really wealthy cause. So without focusing everything on the Gold Coast, they're doing a couple of things over the next month, which is really important.
Very good. Well, as we said, plenty happening, and I think great for owners to hear more about what the association is all about. So thank you both for your time, and no doubt we'll stay tuned for more in coming episodes.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks a lot, Adam. Thank you.